Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Most Important Conversations meditations. We conduct these meditations Monday through Friday. The general theme of the meditations is liberation, and before each meditation, we have a short talk, the overarching theme of which is liberation. Each talk, though, centers around a particular theme or distinction, and these themes and distinctions are taken from our main program, Whole Life Architecture, which is a program where the participants are engaging in a live, interactive, virtual format to reconnect to the powerful creator within that has been conditioned out of them, been conditioned out of all of us, reactivating and reconnecting to that so that they can be the powerful creators of their life and recreate a life by design as opposed to merely tolerating a life by default. For more information about Whole Life Architecture, you can go to TMICglobal.com. Today I would like to chat about the difference between being liberated and being conditioned. These are words that float around the internet as social media memes, as sound bites from talking heads on social media. And the danger of the situation we're in right now, despite many of the good things that can come of it, but this situation with social media predominantly being how we get our information, is that we are an 8-second soundbite generation. And we're trying to convey and imbue meaning of deep philosophical and spiritual principles in little bites. And the challenge with that is that so much of the depth that is in these spiritual teachings, these philosophical teachings, can only be understood when embodied. And that is a challenge if you're just getting your information from short little sound bites. So when we talk about things like liberation versus conditioning, the superficial level that most people are going to encounter and perhaps understand those words is a real problem. When we talk about your conditioning, we are talking about the overarching, overwhelming, omnipresent, omniscient state that you are in, that is all around you, that is even within you because it's been taught to you over many decades. It is the paradigm or the worldview that you are living from, and it is a blind spot until it's not. Every word that you utter, every act that you take is rooted in some deep conditioning. Now, our conditioning can either be something that we've consumed from without, which is what it is for most people. I would say all people until they choose otherwise. Or our conditioning can be an act of our own creation, but for that to be the case, we first have to be liberated. Conditioning is a very comfortable place to hang out, especially when you haven't created it. It leaves us with this idea that we don't have to do anything on our own. Not that people don't act or do things in their conditioning, but the heavy part of it, the really hard part of it, has already been done. That is the part of it of not having to decide what to do and who to be. That is the most difficult part of life, of connecting to your essential being and living from that, having the self-trust to do that. It's much easier to play a part or to play a role, to engage in a drama where all of the meaning has been defined, all of the roles have been defined, all of the expectations of what those roles entail and how those roles will be carried out, to just be able to follow the rules that have been laid out by someone else. This is a much easier way of living life. The life of liberation, as opposed to conditioning, is a total 180-degree inverse in terms of the effort and discomfort that one has to go through in order to own themselves. But as Nietzsche said, there is no greater gift than the ability of someone to truly own themselves. You know, in our conditioned life, we have everything. It's an exchange, it's a grand bargain. You'll have everything you need. You won't have to think. Just follow the rules, be and do what we tell you. And in exchange for that, the basics of life are kind of built into the system and handled. You don't have to create anything when you're profoundly living from your conditioning, when you're playing a role in the play. You don't have to create anything. It's all been created for you. The thinking is done. Just play the role. It takes enormous effort, and there's enormous discomfort on the liberation path. However, there's also a profound and undescribable state of owning yourself and the awakening that comes with that, the inner power that comes with that, and the sheer joy of being able to connect to your Creator within. But this takes effort. Effort to work through the difficulties of the path, and to actually expose yourself and to put yourself in the situations that the real life, the life outside of the conditioning, of what that life entails. There's a lot of work and difficulty to move through those situations thoroughly and properly enough to be able to actually experience the transformation that liberation can provide. It's a process of unmasking. You must be willing to stand alone, which is very difficult. And it doesn't mean you have to be alone, but it's the willingness you have to be able to stand alone to walk the liberated path, because you have to essentially say, I am not going to participate as part of this play anymore. I am not going to be an actor following the rules of this conditioning anymore. My center of gravity is going to shift to what aligns with me. So I go within, and I have to learn to listen. And the listening doesn't just happen in 8 seconds. The listening is not a soundbite. The listening is usually not fast at all. For those who've done Vipassana retreats, you'll know that in the first few days, those are the easy days. And then your mind starts running out of things to think. And so it goes deeper and deeper and starts to drudge up things you never contemplated. had forgotten memories, situations, thoughts that you had repressed, the unearthing of all of these layers of conditioning and all of the years of repression is the only path to liberation, and that is not something that's going to happen fast. And so the challenge for most people is they want the experience of a liberated spiritual life, but they don't want to put in the effort or go through the discomfort of what's required to decondition themselves, to connect deeply and profoundly to themselves, perhaps for the first time since they were children. We expect some sort of magic that by scrolling our social media and consuming little audio bits, little distinctions and spiritual tropes, that this is somehow going to transform us. We've bought into the idea, because of the self-help and the personal development industry, that spirituality can be reduced to mere steps. And if you follow these steps, all your life's problems will go away. 7 Steps to Highly Effective People tells us that to be highly effective just requires 7 basic steps. And we do the same thing with spirituality. Stand like this, dress like that, do this ritual this way. And worse, just get your daily dose of Instagram reels. And what happens in this situation is the near win kicks in. The near win is a distinction that we teach in whole life architecture, where neuroscientists tell us that our brain neurochemically rewards us. There's more dopamine that rushes through our brain when we kind of take a small action and begin the path of change and transformation. But then our brain neurochemically rewards us to not complete it. So we are neurochemically programmed for little dopamine hits and wins to just consume superficial level amounts of information and not integrate and embody it. This is why the joke in the self-help industry of self-help, you buy a book, you take it home, and the book moves from self-help to shelf-help. Even the books are not read in their entirety, statistically. We want a quick fix. We want a pill. We want to get back to our life of comfort, our life of ease. We don't want to put in the effort. And so this is a real challenge. This is the challenge of our conditioning as we walk the liberated path. Liberation is the work of your lifetime. And day by day and week by week, you will experience more liberation, more creative power to act of your own will, less of the sense that you have to follow the rules and live a life that is out of alignment for you. But if you're expecting the path of liberation to be able to be accomplished in a weekend or at a workshop or at a conference that it's going to be fast and easy if you just spend the money, you're going to be disappointed. And in fact, it's better to not start the path because you're going to be in a worse place than had you not started in the first place. How much worse is it to catch a taste of what's possible and not be able to fully embody it and live it than to not start it at all? Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And you've put yourself on a path that is the path of your life. And in that case, you need to embrace it and joyfully continue the path of liberation and be prepared to put in the work and the effort. You know, it's not enough to just imitate spiritual paths. The Zen Buddhist path, the Hindu path, the Christian path, the Muslim path. It's not enough to just abandon our suits, our dress codes, put our hair up in a different way, look spiritual. You've got to actually do the deconditioning work, the embodiment work, the creativity work. But it is so worth it. The power that you start to tap into that you never knew was there is life-changing. The ability to own yourself and to connect deeply to the creative power within you is unmatched by anything in the conditioned world. The ability to be you, wholly and complete yourself, to know yourself at such a deep level that no one can mess with you, to be grounded in yourself as a creator of your own life, to take that on. There's no better path, but it is not a fast one. It is not an easy one, but nothing ever worth doing ever was. If you'd like more information about how to participate and begin to do this work, you can go to tmicglobal.com. I'm going to invite Mignon now to join us this morning to guide us in our neurosculpting meditation.
Thank you, Chad. And good morning, everyone. In today's neural sculpting meditation, we'll continue to take that look at creative possibilities in the space of the unknown. And along the way, I'll be offering cues, toggles, and creative imagery. So you might hear me spell out words or dial up or down or invite playful or even bizarre imaginings, all intentionally designed to guide your experience using the 5-step neural sculpting meditation process. This process helps to calm the nervous system and primes the brain for creating supportive ideas, giving you agency in how you move through life. With a regular practice, the meditation can be supportive in helping to reinforce desired outcomes and create lasting shifts over time. I hope it serves you in a great way. So let's take this time to go on a meditation journey. And to begin, I invite you to orient to the space around you in this moment, to notice the structure beneath you supporting your body, That might be the sofa, a cushion, the ground, and orienting to the space around you, including what's in front of you. That might be a wall, it might be something else. And orient to what's behind you and maybe what's above if you're lying down. And as you are getting acquainted with your body in this space of this location, you can let your mind go wherever it needs to go because your breath is keeping you right here. You might notice the rhythm of your natural inhale and exhale. As you're noticing the flow of your breath, where do you notice it most? Maybe it's the movement through your nose. You might notice it in the throat. Or maybe you're noticing the belly and the lungs rise on the inhale and release on the exhale. Maybe you imagine that your breath can smooth itself out, expanding your body on the inhale and relaxing on the exhale as it empties effortlessly. You might choose to follow the next exhale, imagining it to disperse out of your nose and mouth, filling up the room around you. This is your breath, breathing in and out, consistent, comfortable, supportive. Your deepening breath can invite the body to let go of any tension or gripping in the muscles, finding their way to relaxation and comfort. You might want to drop your shoulders and give your neck a gentle stretch, or roll out your wrists and ankles. This one and only moment, your body has comfort available to it. Comfort of your breath, maybe comfort of the temperature in the room, maybe comfort of the cushion or chair supporting you. Your most basic needs are happening in all moments. And as all of this keeps supporting you from moment to moment, you are reminded that your creative mind can go wherever you'd like it to go. So, what if you imagined you could see the world through the eyes of your favorite animal? What would that be like? Would you be close to the ground, or would you be high up looking down? What does your creative mind see? Or maybe it would be more fun to imagine putting on your dancing shoes and those shoes just taking you off, feet dancing. What dance would you be doing if you put on your dancing shoes? And with your creative mind able to go where it wants while your body remains comfortable and breathing, you might find extra comfort knowing that the story is all you. You are the author of this meditation, a meditation to explore the unknown of future space and time, possibilities. So if you could bring your awareness to that area in your life, maybe that problem to be solved or dreams to be realized or those answers that aren't quite clear yet. What are you working on? And because your creative mind is able, you get to continue to write the narrative of this future story. What if you were to give yourself permission to visualize and create the space of possibility? That scenario for this space and time. What does your mind visualize? Where does your creative mind go? In this opportunity to play in your wildest dreams, what are some ideas that come up maybe something like abundance or JOY, or maybe lifelong dreams near and dear to your heart, or perhaps something altogether different. And because this is your story, and your creative mind can go anywhere it wants while your breath is breathing and your body is supported, what do you imagine if you give yourself permission to create the space for wonderful possibilities? And if you could imagine a sound or vibration with this possibility, what do you hear? Maybe a favorite tune is playing, or sounds of nature, or something else, if anything at all, maybe silence. And if you could imagine a dial like on an old-fashioned radio or a fancy knob of some sort, that is a dial from 1 to 10. What is the perfect level of the sound if you imagined any at all? Is it bold and resonant at a level 10? Or would you dial down the volume of that sound to a whisper at a level 2? Maybe that's better for you. And because your breath is breathing itself and your creative mind is awakened, maybe you imagine in your mind's eye a color or colors that stand out and represent this visualization. You might see warm sunset hues or cool colors like blues. Maybe there are textures that are soft and smooth, or maybe they're bubbly or something else. What does your creative mind notice? What would it be like to take this color, sound, vibrations, textures, the visualization, and put it in your body? Where would you put it? Could you imagine just pouring it down over your whole body so it just becomes an entire part of you? Or would you just put it in your hands to hold on to it? Or maybe you set it in your eyes so you can see the world through it. Or maybe you imagine putting it somewhere else. Where does it work most for you? How does your mind imagine all of this? What things do you notice? Perhaps a calm warmth expands, or maybe you feel comfortably anchored as you embrace the possibilities. Maybe there's a brightness to your inner landscape, or is that something different for you? And remembering that your body listens to your narrative, so too your body is listening to the way you relate to this wonderful possibility in the tones and colors. You might even notice a sensation. Where's your body most responsive to this experience? Maybe your being experiences a pulse that moves through your entire body. Or perhaps it's a smile on your face or a flutter in your heart. Or it might be entirely different for you. It might be nothing at all. And that's okay. This is how your body is relating and associating, and you get to remember that, marking it in your body's memory with a simple hand gesture or a placement of your non-dominant hand where that feels best. And each and every breath can integrate this experience more and more until it becomes familiar and widespread inside of you. And there might be a word that can also activate this experience for you, a word that you can say or write or hear or read that will remind you of your potential and possibility. What's your word? And because your body listens so well to your mind, your body may remember this future story each time you say your word or make your hand gesture. And just as your breath breathes itself, even when you're not noticing it, so too this vibration can expand even when you're not noticing it. And you're invited to continue exploring this possibility, allowing this visualization to become more and more real in your inner landscape. Even as you begin to notice the sounds around you, as you slowly bring your awareness to the space you are in, allowing yourself to gently come back, ending your meditation. Thank you all for joining us today. I encourage you to take a few moments to journal about your experience if that feels good. And I invite you to join us again for our weekly meditations. We meet each Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Pacific. Have a wonderful rest of your day and be well.